Alright, this is Mr. 5AK with the first ever C# tutorial for ADHDclan.net. Today I'm going to be stepping you through something very basic, very simple, a dialog box for Visual C#. What it's going to look like on the final project is just a regular application with a button and the dialog box. The dialog box, you see them all the time, just a pop-up window. Alright, let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is actually create the program or the template. To do that, you either go File, New Project, or on your quick key bar, just New Project. From here, again, like I said, we're using Visual C#, and it's just a Windows application. Yours may differ depending on what version you have. This is version 2005 that was released in 2007. All updates everything. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to actually do is make sure that you know where everything is, know your layout, know everything. But what you're going to want to look for is your toolbox. If you do not have your toolbox, should be going to View and then Toolbox. It'll actually put it there. What we're going to do today is just a button. Going to be very easy. Drop button there. If you already know Visual C, you should know the layouts, how to actually change things. If not, once you actually have something selected, you just go to your properties. You could change the actual text of it, whatever you want to do. We're going to call that dialog. Alright. All you're going to want to do, very simple, double click on it, will actually take you to the code. When double clicking on it, instead of right clicking view code, it'll actually enter what you want. It's a button 1, that's what it's called, not the actual text that we just changed. This is what the actual program calls it, and it's on a click. Now this is what's being called, and inside your two brackets is what's going on. So if we just tab over, start this out, to actually display a dialog box, it's a message. So if you just start typing in message, you want a message box. Put your dot, and you want it to show. Very simple so far. You're going to start right there and end it. Now the only reason I do that is you have your layout done now, so you don't screw up later. Then you could just get going right there. Now, but if you saw, before we get any too farther, when I actually put in the first part, it does bring up a little box. It'll start guiding you through, giving you different examples of how to actually do things. You can run through these, read them, but most of it's very, very simple, very basic. I'll also put up a link to all the different things that you can do with the actual message box. Alright, so here we go. All it is so far that we did, we're going to show a message box. Inside the message box, which would be inside your container right here, is what you want it to say. So we can do hello world. Alright, now as you can see, it actually is trying to give you other type of code that you can use inside of your project. Now the reason that it's doing that is with just regular text, it's going to try to figure out what you're going to want to do if you're adding code or if you're trying to connect a button with something else. So whenever you actually want something to show up and you want it in pure text, you always have to put your quotes around it. So if we just add our quotes, everything got bold. So that means that anything inside those two quotes, or it's showing what's inside those two quotes. So if I move the quote to the very end, now everything's in bold. But you don't want to do that. You only want the hello world to be in bold. So far what we've got is you've got your actual telling you who it is, which is a button 1, what you're doing, which is a click. Your two brackets right here, everything inside of that has to do with this button 1. What we're doing is we're opening up a message box, we're going to show it, and we're going to display hello world. Let's give that a shot real quick, see what it actually does. For those who don't know how to do it, you have a play button right here. It should be on debug, any PC. Some people have it on an x86 or whatever the operating system is, x64. But any CPU is usually the default. So if we just push play real quick, test it out, you have one button, click it, there's hello world. Very simple, very easy. Let's go a little bit farther with it real quick. Now, if you would have actually went through what it's saying and started understanding a little bit of it, if we go 3 down, it says string text and string caption. Now, as you saw a second ago, when you actually opened it up, all it is say hello world. There's nothing in your actual bar that says anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to add something there. So the hello world's done. Now after, you're always going to want to stay inside those brackets too. If you go outside the brackets and try to recreate more brackets, it's just not going to work. You got to stay inside of there. Now if you're reading from what it said, you want a comma. Comma is actually going to put you into another set of code what you want to do. Now this already popped up as number 2, that's what they think you're going to want to do, but we're actually on 3 because we want the string text, which is what's actually the text in the box, and the string caption, which would be on the actual bar. So if we type in test, now remember, you always got to put your quotes around it. See, so what was happening right there is while we actually started typing, it wants you to put in more code, but you're not doing that. You want to display straight text. So quote it. So test, give that a shot real quick, see what happens. When we click on it, now you've got test up here. Very easy. There is other things that you can do. You can also make it, instead of just an OK, it could be a yes, no. It could be a ignore, abort, or cancel. Different things. You can also add images to it. Well, the basic Windows images for now. So like the exclamation mark or something like, or the information bubble. Now this is to actually do it on top of a button, the one that we created. Now let's say that you want to do it before the actual application shows up. So we can actually, let's say that we started out with our blank template, which would be this right here. This is blank. So if you want to actually show a pop-up before the program actually starts, when you're actually, if you just double click on it, it'll take you back to your code. If you start reading from the top going down, this is everything that's using, and you're looking for form 1. Now that's what this is actually called. Again, I did not name anything, I kept it simple. So the name of this box is form 1. So form 1, it's going to instalize component. So if we just enter down once and we do exactly what we did before, which is message box show hello world with the caption of test, and then we play that, what's going to actually happen is now you have a box, and once you push OK, it starts the program. Now this could be anything. It could be test and then sit.net. And when we actually play that, there you go. Please visit ADHDclan.net. So it does not matter what you actually want. And again, this could be the yes or no buttons. This could be pretty much anything that you want it to be. Now, what people were actually looking for also too is when you actually look at this, it's just one line. So if we kept going with it and we just kept typing more and more and more, and then you play it, what's gonna happen is it's just gonna go straight across. Now some people like it up and down. They want tabs in it. How you would actually do that is if we get rid of all that, it's the \n, and pretty much what that is it's a break. So that means it's going to say please visit ADHDclan.net break and then by Mr. 5AK. So if we actually look at this now, and there's no space after it. If there's a space, that means once it's down a tab, then it's going to be spaced by one key. So I'll show you that. So that's what it looks like right now. And like I was saying with the space, if there is a space right after it, it'll show you that there's a space. As you can see, it's a little tabbed over. So if you want it to be straight perfect, then do not put a space in there. If you want it a little bit over, you could tab, and then you've actually got more of a space. Okay. Now this is before the actual box opens, so we can copy that real quick, close everything up, make it look all nice. Again, you don't have to. You can leave it however you want. It's just the flow of the actual, for you doing it yourself. You don't want it to look like crap. Well, you can. It's up to you. So if we throw a new button in there again, just make it bigger so everybody can see. Open it up, and we put in that with the break in it. Again, it works the exact same. Once you click it, now there's that break again. So that was how to make a dialog box in C#. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them. And that's all.